That freaking medic's a spy. We got a spy. Unfreaking touchable. Ah, crap.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Duck here. Give me a quick audio check. Make sure everything sounds good on you guys' end. Oh, man. Got this, I don't even know what the hell it is. Live resin, elite live resin oil. And this shit is like 93.5% THC. Or something. I don't know. It's pretty nasty. Yeah. So, working on that right now. Alright, we're good. Cool. Thank you, fellas. Alright. Okay. So I know everybody's freaking out again, like usual, right? Per usual. Everybody's freaked the fuck out. Alright. So we had our initial little inverse head and shoulders structure, okay? You could even call it a slanted inverse head and shoulders-esque structure, okay? Either way, we've found some kind of neckline, overhead, what was once resistance again, right? A couple times, is now being back tested as support. And yes, you currently fell back below it with that last 1 hour, which sucks, but I would say that this is still making a pretty good bottom up here as far as like this higher low goes. So far that's really not a big deal, but it would be nice to get back above, that 36.5 area and then just continue on, right? Obviously you have this little bit of overhead congestion just locally, which is 37.5. So it's like every 1,000 right here you have a little bit of something going on, because even right here you got the square up at the next 1,000, 38.5. And then what's this up here, 39, 40k area. So pretty much every 1,000 right here in incremental levels, you're gonna find a little bit of resistance. And I know you guys have seen some people throwing charts out there with the heat map. If you guys can go to Dime's Twitter, I think he had one on there within the past 72 hours that just this heat map shows this just these layered sell orders, right? They could be take profit orders on longs, or they could be short orders. It's a combination of both, really. And it shows just this heat map above us, layered pretty thick, okay? And in my opinion, when I see a lot of these heat map layered orders, they're real thick like this, and they'd be yellow or something on Dime's chart, and you'd see them at all these various levels like this. You know what I mean? Well, when I see these, I don't think of them as this wall that we're gonna just fail in front of and just sell off of, which is, I know that's probably how a lot of people look at them. I think of them as like, okay, if I'm an exchange, right? If I'm a casino, okay, and I see some big players come in the door right before they get to the high roller table, I don't want to put up a red flag and say, oh, we're closing for the night, sorry, you guys got to leave, right? No. I want to say, why don't you guys get all of that money you brought into my tables, my various table games across the casino floor, right? Why don't you guys put all that money to play? Because even if you break even, you still pay me on all these fees, which, depending on the game, let's say somebody's playing poker, right? One of these whales comes in and he's playing poker. Well, he might just sit there not getting very many cards, not forcing the action, but he's still going to pay a lot of, big blinds, small blinds, the rake, right? We're still going to get him playing the high stakes game, even blinding out, okay? So if I'm an exchange and I see all this liquidity up here, I'm going to put it into play, because maybe this first player, right, we come up here and we get his liquidity, but we just keep on going and going and going and going, he might freak out and puke right here. You know what I mean? Even if it ends up going down again and he would have won, we might still get him to puke for a good loss, right? A good 1 hour loss on, you know, $5-10 million, right? So just getting this liquidity in play, that would be my primary focus as an exchange operator, market maker, composite man, right? So we'll have to see. For me though, again, I'm not afraid of this. I always poke with Dime. He knows that. But as soon as he posted that chart in the Discord, I said that I was gonna go right through all of it. Okay, so let's see how this all plays out. But yeah, there's some overhead liquidity, you know, overhead resistance that, you know, we need to flip it, right? Flip that, and then maybe we could run even higher than it. But you know, of course it could reject into it, you know, as well. But that just means that these guys are shorting, and they fill, and then maybe they even add some more, you know, hidden orders, and they just really push the price down, right? But you know, we'll just have to see how that plays out. Right now, this is just the hourly, but I mean, for a second there, you had started to paint some positive momentum. You can see you were just about to, and now you've flipped it red again, which isn't good. But you're just about to start working on that next island. So let's see if we can, you know, still muster it here. I mean, if not, if you reject this again here, just locally, if you can't even break back above, you know, 36.5, because you know it's this resistance area, right? You can clearly see it there as resistance, and in fact, we can even go back a little bit and see it as resistance, or what was once, excuse me, support, right? Clear candle close support, right, on the May 25th, became very, very clear resistance on May 30th, right? And now we're just butting up at that level, just kind of going sideways, chopping around here, trying to figure out what exactly this level is going to be regarded as. Is this going to maintain its resistance, right? And we're going to fail? Or is this going to become support, right? And we're going to hold above it now and rally, right? That is the question of the moment, okay? So, is it even possible that maybe we even come back down and touch this one more time? You know what I mean? Sure. Before finally breaking out. So we'll just have to see. You have a square up right here. See this square up at 34.5? So maybe come down and just, you know, I don't know. It's always possible, right? You gotta just know that these square up levels happen, all right? You can say that this one was squared up by this wick already, but maybe not, right? Maybe this needs to be squared up too, out in space, right? But usually, ones this far down like this, they don't happen right now. They happen later, right? On the way back down, you'll catch it over here. Does that make sense? So it doesn't have to happen right away. What we need to have happen right away is get back above this area, okay? This clear area that is resistance, right? We need to get back above it. 4 hour, I mean, 4 hour looks fine. It just, you know, you're in this little area that you must, you know, get back above, okay? So you have this downsloping kind of spine, right? You have this chop trying to find its low point. Yeah, I mean, you know, we had these previous harmonics in here, right? We had these previous harmonics in here that we deleted, but there was harmonic action all the way up this, upsloping trend line here. And even what we're regarding right now, guys, as this small little neckline here that we fell below, it's such a like overall minor thing in this grand scheme, right? So where you put in the low, you went up, put in the range high, came back down, tested the low again, back up, tested the high, back down, tested the low. Now we're at that like 50% kind of area, right? Where if this was a large range, right, you can see how we'd be above it, so that's good. This midpoint is more like right there, right? So yeah, I mean, again, step one, get above this, right? And then find our way out and above 40K, right? But 40K in itself is going to be, another pretty significant area, right? Where you're going to have those, the highs of this harmonic, the A and the C are take profit levels. So traders are going to sell in here. You might sell off again and then rally, right? So something like that. But yeah, be really nice to get back up to 40K and figure out what the hell's going on up there, right? Again, with these dragons, right, these dragon-esque patterns, you first have like this lower body area, like the waist, right? And then you have this abdomen area. So you must break above these in order to get to, the highs again, basically, right? So yeah, that's how these dragons work. Let me see if I can find you guys a good example here. No good examples. Jeez. Okay, we're gonna have to go with this one. Okay, so check this out. So we're looking at this pattern here, right? Where you see it makes this head, right? And then you have this down sloping, the neck. I mean, they call it the neck, but whoops. This down sloping blue line, it's just more, I guess, the pattern of the shape of the dragon. I more refer to the red one, I guess, as the, what are they even calling it? I can't tell what they're calling it. And then you have this basically like this hump, this back, right? This hump. You had the lower feet, and this hump makes like this head and shoulders, but it then breaks to the upside. It doesn't break down. I mean, yeah, it looks like it broke down initially, but that was just a higher low to paint the back feet, okay? We already did that, though. So watch, let me move this out the way a little bit. Let me, if I bring this over, I think I can, yeah, kind of works, okay. Okay, there you go, guys. So where this back hump was, it's just this, it's the harmonic, basically, right? You can see this hump area, right? Where we had the initial low, right? The front foot was the initial low. You could say either one of these was. Okay, so there's your front foot. And now your back foot was the D of the harmonic. So you made your hump from the front foot low. So there you basically almost even saying that the D would be more like this, okay? Which is fine, whatever. So you have this hump, right? The harmonic, and now that hump makes this initial, like, I guess if you were a dragon, this would be like the bottom of your belly, right? And then the top of this would be your back, like this second area. Anyways, you see what we're getting at here, okay? And if I gave you some more examples of how this kind of usually plays out here, let's see. One would, it's like they're all just starting. Here we go. All right, you see this like breakout point, right? And then you end up way up top, like almost targeting the highs. So when these dragons play out, like just like this one, right? It's like an 886 slightly lower high. But you have the higher low and then the lower high, right? So that higher low, that's like that back area, and then you've got to get back above it, okay? So let's look at this again. Okay, so this is that first real area, right? That you have to get back above. Crucial area, okay? And then you end up at this 886. So X, A, B, C, D, 886 type of structure, okay? So that's 56K. But, you know, that's exactly what that pattern was painting, all right? So we'll make this a dragon like that, okay? So, I mean, what's happening right now, I would say this is just kind of just bullshit chop right here, right? Just chop. Just trying to get people to shake out before, you know, the real action happens. And again, we have some pretty easy invalidations. Like, we don't really want to lose 33.2, right? We don't want to see price come below this and regard this as resistance, right? And then start selling off again. And we start losing, you know, not only one low, but another low, right? And jeopardizing even the last low, right? Putting that in jeopardy. So we don't want to see that kind of price action, okay? What we want to see here, get back above these levels, a rally again, right? Hold, go sideways, and then rally again, right? So see if we can get it. Let's go over to ETH. I mean, literally exactly the same thing, right? ETH looks a little stronger, right? This previous resistance area, right, is you're above that on ETH. So next you have this, you know, next one to work on, right? Whoops. Next kind of overhead area, but ultimately you're painting the same type of structure. Okay. So we would have X, A, B, C, D, 886. Okay. So ETH 4K. This is why we've been saying ETH 4K, right? And not just because the dragon, but, you know, 886 deep retrace. If you fib from high to low, that's 886, right? So yeah, 4K on ETH is what we're after. We need, obviously, you know, if Bitcoin fails, everything's going to fail, right? So we can't just be blind to the macro structure here. We got to be mindful of what Bitcoin's doing. Even though, you know, ETH might be holding up a little better, Bitcoin can't dump, right? It at least has to just go sideways, if anything, right? But Bitcoin dumping would, you know, ruin the party for everything. So we need a rally, a late night rally, right, while everybody's sleeping. Typical fuckery from Bitcoin. So, you know, let's see what happens. But yeah, I mean, we need some kind of rally here. Would be nice. All right, let's continue on. Litecoin. Let me zoom in on the 1 hour here. So again, you have this 1 hour kind of smaller structure, right, within the larger 4 hour macro-esque structure, okay? But you know, we have this really clear area here that was resistance, okay? So we're using that, and then look, this wick right here confirmed that area, right? Really nice confirmation neckline here. We broke above it. We back tested it pretty solidly here and rallied, but then you sold off again. But you continue to, you know, each time you continue to find strength to get back above it, okay? So we need this area to flip, right? We need to get back above here and then hold it finally. And for the last time, okay? You need to flip this 180 into support, okay? 180 needs to go flipped into support. If so, this is how we end up finding ourselves up here off this measured move. And we could even take this more conservative, just at the candle close, and we could bring this up here and we find ourselves, you know, in this zone, okay? So 2.25, right? 2.25. So if we can rally and hold 180, you'll quickly find yourself at 225, right? Boom. What we don't want to see, of course, is failing here and backtesting this as resistance and selling off, okay? Really, you don't even want to lose this inverse head and shoulders-esque right shoulder of the larger you know, structure, a larger macro. You're putting in yourself inverse head and shoulders, okay, with you know, almost a slanted inverse head and shoulders, okay? So for now, you know, we need this to rally back up here and hold above 180. You're right at it. You're 179.70. So you just need to get some bids to step in here. Come on. Where's the bulls? Okay. Let's keep this trend intact, right? We don't want to see this trend line broken. Okay. So far, nothing to worry about. It actually looks really good. Okay. AVAX. AVAX. Okay, so again, you have this like downsloping trend line here that you've broken out of, right? You've broken out of it and now you just went sideways. Okay, so currently you're back testing this little small neckline, right, of the right shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, same thing. And this is a really clear area that you need to get above because you had this previous wick low here as well. So you're just sandwiched in this area, okay? You're just sandwiched in here. So we need to get above both of these, okay? Be really nice to find ourselves above $18. If so, we're gonna rally to this square up at 1950 first. Maybe come and back test these highs one more time, okay? Before ultimately rallying again and breaking through these highs, okay? So a lot of work to do here, but so far, I mean, this structure, this just change in trend, right? This just change in the structure here, okay? I don't know how you want to draw it there, but you could call it something like this, okay? So where you can just see price action rounding bottom, okay? That rounding bottom-esque price action. Pretty nice measured move, you know, not necessarily measured move, but just pretty nice square up area up here at 33, where, you know, that gives you really nice target and 3-to-1, right? So 3-to-1 would allow your stop to be right here below the low, right? 3-to-1, perfect. So if you want to use this current low, you could just be much more conservative, and that's 6.5-to-1 on your money right now. So if this holds above this, even wait for it to get above the red line. Wait for it to get above 17, 80, and then take that long, right? Whatever you got to do there. Because even that, if you just long the red line, you're still going to be very equitable. 3 to 1 is still way down here, okay? 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so if you use that low again, you're still 5.5 to 1, longing the breakout of the current resistance area, right? Wait for it to go, wait for that to break, and then long. FTM, same thing. I mean, you have this downsloping trend line here that you're just kind of back testing for one. Whoops. Sorry. You're back testing this trend line one last final time here. This upsloping, trend line. You don't want to see that lost, right? You don't want to lose this. You'd lose both of them, right? You'd lose the neckline and the upsloping trend lines. You don't want to see that. Pretty clear, tight invalidation if that were to occur, right? So again, you want to get back above this stuff, continue riding this trend line, eventually break away from it, and go, right? Let's get up here at this square up area at 65 cents, right? That's what we want to see out of FTM. We need to see the bids step in. Now that the, let's see, yep, we had the daily closed, so yeah, I mean, usually the fuckery waits till after the daily's in. And this being the new first day of Q3, I believe, Q3, day 1. So you had a quarterly candle close, a monthly candle close, a weekly candle close, all happened yesterday, I believe. Not sure where you are in UTC time as far as quarters go, but I think we're close. So that being said, good time to just invalidate everything, right? Or good time to send it, right? Because you have a new quarter that just started, right? Here's your June. It was right here. Oops. Sloppy. Right here, right? June. Okay, so you've just went sideways into the new quarter so far. Nothing exciting. I mean, everything really looks the same like it's been, okay? So again, areas that were previously resistance, you need to regard them as support now so you can rally up to the higher levels, okay? FTT, FTM, all these guys are looking the same. Continuing to paint higher lows, so that's good, right? Wouldn't quarter close be end of June? Maybe you're right. Maybe I mean, this, what is this called? Damn, I don't even know what the fuck this is called. Elite Live Resin Oil. Select oil. So I don't even know when the fucking quarter is right now, bro. But I know it's close. If it didn't already happen, it's approaching. Alright, moving on. SNX, we don't have the neckline here drawn, but you can see this really discernible close, right? If we take that, we're basically right above it, okay? So this looks really nice on SNX, okay? You just need to hold, right? You just need to hold on everything. You're at very critical areas, very critical areas. So must hold, rally up to this next area, probably reject initially, partial decline, and then see if you can get above it, right? Paint some kind of head and shoulders. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone thinks it's going to sell off. It doesn't. Instead, you just send it, right? those little traps like that they happen often, okay? So, yeah, SNX low May 23rd, higher low May 30th. Now, attempting to paint some kind of higher low June 1st, okay? So let's see if this holds up or how this ends up developing. Again, we don't want to see these start becoming resistance, right? These becoming resistance would be all bad, all right? We need these to maintain themselves as support and attack overhead resistance, right? Not down sloping or not lower support levels. Excuse me. All right. XLM, it had the most promise so far. While everything was kind of getting beat up today, XLM painted this really nice 18% move, okay, in one 4-hour candle. Now you've given back a lot of it, probably sold off 61.8% of the way. Let's see what you did. If you fib from the low of that candle to the high, you've sold off 61.8% of the way. Gee whiz. Okay, so this is like maybe our telltale sign of what's to come, okay? So everything right now is painting this lower time frame inverse head and shoulders structure, okay? So here it is. Here was your lower time frame inverse head and shoulders-esque structure. Here was your neckline, okay? We could even get a little fancy with it and just use these closes right here. And that was a perfect touch on a perfect 61.8 retrace, right? Oh, that's where you settled up. Even better though, to be honest. Okay, so right now, if you look at everything else is pretty much looks like this, okay, right now. Even kind of one worse almost, like one candle back. They're more at this red one, right? Where you're below the line, but then hopefully this next one comes back to it. So we need everything to do this. Boom, right? So let's see if we can get that kind of price action out of Bitcoin. But I mean, that would be a really nice move for everything. But you could see right before it happens, we have this little bit of selling off, and even where the candle opened, it still sold off again and painted a lower low. Then you had the follow through and the rally into the close, right? Into the close. So let's see what happens on everything else. But yeah, I would say everything else actually looks more like looks almost more like this, where we're painting this red one right now, and then we're gonna sell off again, rally, and then really rally, okay? So we'll see what happens, right? But XLM, this could be a good signal into the future as for what's to come. Like, came up and hit that square up area, right? Squared it up. Yeah, watch. Let's look at that. No. Okay. So this is what we're looking at, guys, on XLM over there, okay? So we had this low, lower low, right shoulder, inverse head and shoulders-esque structure, okay? We have this neckline that's painting, okay? And this, where you are right here, is basically like right here, okay? So you got like another 12 hours of bullshit ahead of you, and then you're gonna just slam up, okay? Boom. You're gonna go right to 40K. From like 36 to 40K, you can get like this nasty $4,000 bullish engulfing candle, okay? And that would be this guy. Okay, so that is what we are looking for on everything. Okay, make sense? Oh, sorry. Couldn't even see. Why can't you see it? I'll just move it for now. There you go. Does that help you envision the vision? Okay. XLM, BTC, whatever you want to call that, fractal action. Okay, 1 inch, working with 1 inch. Okay, so what was once resistance is now support, resistance is now support. Okay, so this is really nice to see. Again, you had this low, higher low, working on a higher low. Okay, target here just locally is get back into this golden zone from the 382 to the 618, and then you have these deeper retraces. Okay, this 786, 886 deeper retrace. So first get into the golden zone and then get into the deeper retrace area, but ultimately you're still working on something bigger, right? You're working on bigger things where we can now fib from the high to low. We have a new golden retrace right here. So it's more common for us to target this 50% area because it's the overlapping deep retrace of the smaller macro, of the smaller micro structure, and then you got the golden retrace of the larger macro structure. So, and you got the Dow's theory 50% retrace. You could find yourself on 1 inch back at $4.82. Pretty good little sweet spot there. You know, that's weird. These suckers don't have a plus sign. I think I remember that. Okay. We use a flag. They should have a plus sign, right? That you can make, that you can rotate into an X. Maybe it's, yeah, I don't see shit. Geometric shape. It's not even there. It's not a pattern. These guys are weak. I'm gonna have to DM TradingView. They used to also have a wheelchair. You guys remember the wheelchair? I'm looking at these all these icons. They used to have a wheelchair, unless I'm blind, but somebody must have cried like a little bitch. Poor Ramp Capital lost his wheelchair. Like, that's more, you know, whatever you call it, that's racist. So we don't have a wheelchair, we don't have an X marks the spot. I mean, like, what are we even doing here? Oh, there it is. Yeah. All right. You're forgiven, TradingView, on the X marks the spot. But you're not forgiven on Ramp Capital's wheelchair. Bring back the wheelchair. All right, there we go. X marks the spot. That's what we were looking for. Plus signs there. Yeah, dude, 93% THC, Blim. So that's what it is. All right, moving along. Inch AVE, AAVE. Again, guys, like you could almost like hide the ticker And you know, we could hide the ticker and mirror these patterns across not every alt. We're only looking at like select alts here for a reason, right? I've already went through them all, right? There's a big lists, okay? So we have these watch lists, right? And we have, you know, depending on which one we're looking at, right? But there's lists and lists of shitcoins, right? Perps, you know, leveraged, spot, you know, whatever you want to be looking at here. There's lists and lists of shitcoins, okay? So I've already went through them and handpicked a small select group, okay? So if your shitcoin didn't make the cut, not only is like that trying to tell you something, but it's trying to tell you something like, hey, for some reason Duck left out my coin. He must be racist, right? So it just there's not as clear of an edge on whatever asset that may have been versus some of these other assets that are in play. That's all it is, okay? Could still be friends. X, A, B, C, 886. 617. 618, whatever you want to call it. AAVE, okay? I don't know why, but I don't like green patterns. Jeez, can't breathe. And on Pride Month, what the fuck? All right. So let's see. Yeah, most of these you're targeting this 886, right? Where you're fibbing from this X high discernible swing high to this A swing low, right? And this purple is our 886 up here, right? So most of these targets are initially going for this 886. Is the 886 the end of it? Not necessarily, right? But you do usually get this like pretty nasty reaction there, right? Initial reaction. But then it's possible to turn it around and rally up to this 1272 because oftentimes you will find that these bats, right? This bearish bat that's currently painting here, 886 bearish bat, where you have a 50% on the B, right? These give you that initial sell off, but then you rally to the 1272 and this ends up turning itself 1272, right? You end up turning yourself into a butterfly. So keep that in mind. It's almost like you're going to use this pattern twice, but that second time you end up sweeping the highs, right? You end up sweeping these previous highs on that second rally. Okay, so let's keep that in mind on most of these, all right? Can we get a bullish rainbow? God damn it. All right, fine. One time. This is the best you're gonna get out of me. There you go. Happy Pride. All right. Moving on. Algo, back testing that low time frame neckline, right? Upsloping trend line. You don't want to lose. You're fine, looking just fine. You're almost constricting, right? Like a snake coiling, right? So up, down, up, down, up. Partial decline, you know, you're due here, right? It's time. There's nothing left, okay? It's over. It's time. The pattern, you know, that's it, okay? So you're either going to come out of this to Valhalla, right? To the square up here. See that square up? Boom, that lines up real nice with this. Or you're going to die. Okay? Those are your options right now. Either going to $1.36 or going to 38 cents. All right? So for us, you know, we have this previous little low area. That could be a good little invalidation point for us at 77 cents, right? We don't want to see that lost. We need to rally up out of this to the top side. If you can get up out of this, right? If you can get up out of this, you're working with something here, okay? But yeah. See how this plays out. Oh, look at this. Look at this little guy. CRV. See what I mean, guys? This is that price action that we're waiting for. Where, you know, we attempt to get parabolic, right? We also have this square up here as another area of interest. We have fib levels from high to low. One of them's the 50, right? Coinciding with that measured move. And the other one is this 618, okay? So those are some good areas of interest, and CRV is breaking out. So good to see at least, you know, something playing ball here. I mean, that's why you diversify, right? Because others break out at different times, right? Well, like FTM and FTT are lagging a bit. CRV and like the dog, right, are already starting to rally. XLM, right? You already nailed 20% yesterday during the day, right? Which is still happening. It just the candle close happened, you know, an hour and 45 minutes ago. But aside from that, you know, you're doing good here. You're fine, right? So, you know, this is the time when sometimes you can, you know, take some of these initial runners, right? Maybe this runs up and hits this target. You can close it and then move this money over to something that's still down here and then run it again on another coin, right? Because they're painting the same pattern. You have the same plan across the board. Look, Dragon, you're still sitting here, right? So look, Dragon, you're still sitting right here. Whereas FTM, you've already left this area 22%, okay? So just by rotating capital strategically, you could already rotate that. You know, you don't want to give up a winner to chase a loser here, but this isn't really a loser. It's not like it's selling off. Okay, it's not like you're trying to catch a knife. You're holding at above a support resistance area and flipping it as support. This isn't really buying a loser. This is just waiting for its time. Watch. You know what I mean? Like nothing is wrong here at all on this asset. Like you're waiting for your turn, okay? So dragon on dragon. Dragon right there. You had this like your belly, right, of the dragon, and then you have like this waistline area next, okay? So need to get above one, back above the other. Eventually you end up at the 886, okay? GRT, pretty good upsloping trend line here, okay? So again, this could still take some time. Maybe you're not fully developed here. Maybe you still run like this and then you go, right? Eventually though, you're gonna find yourself at this square up. It's like right here at like $1.25, okay? The dog, see, the dog's already starting to rally. And yes, you had some Coinbase news, but I mean, to be honest here, let's be honest, on Pride Week, Pride Month, right? Let's be honest. You you know, this was kind of looking good without Coinbase announcing. A lot of times these bastards just announce their fundamentals when the technicals are already there, okay? Their quant is looking at the same thing that we are, okay? So the quant says, hey, it's time to release the news, and it looks like our news was the catalyst, but really it wasn't. They probably bought in back here anyways, right? So whatever. We'll take it. And let's see here. A measured move. I mean, fibbing from high to low. Um, uh, okay. Stream lagging. That sucks. I do have a lot of other shit open. I probably shouldn't. Okay. So we're approaching this golden retrace zone on the dog. Okay. So you're looking for this area between 41 cents and 53 cents next, okay? That's the doggy. XRP backtesting this neckline, same thing, just lagging, waiting for its turn to shine, okay? Nothing's wrong here. You're just painting structure. Inverse head and shoulders-esque action. On XRP. All right. So XRP, those are for another day. XRP, we would be looking to fib from this May 18th high to the May 23rd low, and we're looking for this golden retrace initially, okay? So let's see if we can get up to that $1.30 area would really be ideal, right? That's 618 retrace, golden retrace. Yeah. Something like this, right? And you start to go a little parabolic here pretty soon. And you find yourself at $1.30. It's live. He's answering. Yeah. It's all good on my end. I can't tell that we're lagging. Let's see. Maybe we've... Yeah, shit. So we have dropped some frames. But our stream quality is still good. Did you really just talk during independent reading time? I don't know what that is. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a CPU, GPU expert here, but I know drop frames aren't good, but that's all I could tell from the current metrics. Yeah, back to Bitcoin. Let's go into the hourly. Let's delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. Okay. So, yeah, this negative momentum, hopefully it was nothing really, and it was just finishing off the remaining little bit it had in the tank there. And we could begin the positive action here shortly, okay? I still don't really like this square up down here, you know what I mean? I don't really like that it's there, but it is what it is, right? Hopefully, if anything, it just wicks right into it and comes right back, right? I don't know, whatever. Just a stop for quick stops that are below this really tight invalidation point. Really high leveraged stop losses get, tagged real quick and then run. But what would be even better is we just go, right? Just start making the highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, okay? So let's see, what happens here over the next, like, I don't know, course of probably into the evening, into tonight. It's gonna take a little bit of time for this to play out, but it's we've got some good signs, being that like XLM and the dog already started to rally. So that's good signals of potential price action to come. Okay. What time is it? Yeah, I gotta jump on a conference call with, where are they at? India right now. What time is it in India? I don't know, but it's probably normal time for them. What time is it in India? Yeah, exactly. 7:30 in the morning in India. So I gotta jump on a conference call real quick, guys, and it's only for about half hour, and then yeah, I'll be back in the Discord talking more shit per usual. We could do some static requests if there's something I missed, but for the most part, guys, I mean, you could just look at these other charts and match it up to whatever one you're looking at right now, and you can probably find your TA there just by mirroring what's happening on some of these other charts, right? So try that first, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, I see it right there, because you probably will, and you are seeing what you should be seeing. That is correct. They are mirroring very, very hard right now. So all right, guys. Well, I will catch you back in the Discord, back on Twitter here in a few. Duck out. Pump it.